Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Connon. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Premarket Info.
And the market getting a little pop here, Joel. It was looking a little bit weak there yesterday. I know a lot of money was flying out of higher yielding stocks there yesterday, but we are coming back here overnight. Had a pretty big range, 1641 the low. We've bounced off that nicely here in the last couple of hours. Trading up near the highs of 1652.25. The overnight high has been 1654.75.
Yeah, what did you get up at 3 in the morning with your bearish cap on or something? You're bullish.
I always get
We
up
had,
usually to check out the equities at 4 a.m. and to see what's happening. So I did set the alarm. I took a little look and we were sitting flat and I was like, it doesn't seem to be too much happening today. So I went back to bed for a couple of hours. And obviously now here, though, we have had a market rally in the last 2 hours.
yeah, just on the upside, folks. Let's keep an eye on Wednesday's high of 1657 and a quarter. Haven't quite reached that yet, but we'll see if the numbers coming out at 8:30 change the complexion of the market at all.
And gold here trading up just slightly. It's been kind of hanging out. We've been talking about this $1,400 level forever, it seems like, Joel. It did cut through it here yesterday, pulled back, is trading just under 1,400 right now. Is this gearing up for a rally?
If you want to, play it that way, you certainly can. I think if it cuts below 1380, risk $20 here, and maybe if you can get a settle over 1400, but really tight ranges in
Real
gold
tight.
over the last, yeah, real tight. So
Yeah.
it's getting ready, maybe a strangle or something.
Yeah,
I don't
even the
know.
miners, they've had tight ranges too. Stocks like Barrick and stuff have actually been quite tight here, but slowly drifting up, and we'll have to see what's going to happen with those. Going on to crude here, sitting on a key support level. You're looking at $92 there. Wow, what's your take?
Well, I mean, it's sitting on support here. You've had a couple other lows at 92.21 and 92 and a quarter here. Last, will it be a triple bottom here? I don't know. It's leaning kind of heavy on it. Below that major support at the $91 level.
Now, we talk about rotation always in this market, and yesterday we just hinted a few minutes ago, money was flowing out of everything that was higher yielding, anything with a fixed yield. Money was flying out of that yesterday. Obviously, they're worried about interest rates going up here potentially in the future, or at least not going down anymore. Worried about QE slowing down. So, some vehicles like your investment trusts, your REITs there. Bring up a chart, for instance, of MITT there, Joel, because money flying out of some of these sectors just the last few days. 2391 is where it closed, but yeah, if you look at that chart here, these things don't typically move too much, but for 2 days here, they've absolutely been getting killed. Some of these investment trusts, some of these income funds, some of these REITs. They did bounce back from their lows yesterday and closed fairly strong, so it was a key reversal day, hopefully to buck the trend for those REIT holders.
Yeah, I mean, when these things make a move like this and come back, I mean, you just got to be a little bit cognizant of what's going on, just holding the entire interest rate environment. I mean, look at some of these high yielding stocks and Procter and Gamble. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just an incredible move, and I'm still kicking myself here. 82 and a half puts that barely made any money on last Friday when it gapped up on that news. I should have did out another week as that came to fruition. But all
Yeah,
these stocks,
it could never kiss that
J&J,
top, that Procter and Gamble. We said, we could get some resistance up there at the old high, which was 82.54. Never got that high, only got up to 82.35, and obviously peeled back. I know Johnson and Johnson had a very weak day yesterday. Coke had a very weak day yesterday. Anything that has a little higher dividend, 3-4%, really didn't perform well. And money was flying into other sectors, more risk on. The financials actually were quite strong. So it's moving out of some certain sectors and still moving around here. We do have some key earnings here this morning. Big Lots, my favorite stock, reported earnings 61 cents against estimates of 61 cents. 1.31 billion versus 1.32 billion. So they missed on the revenue. Kind of came in line. Actually, when you adjust the earnings, it came in line because on the bottom line they actually only made 56, but adjusted 61. Stock is trading down significantly though here in the pre-market. It's down over $3. 35.31 is where we're trading currently.
Is it offered there? Because it's just on the chart here. It's just sitting there dead in the water. Is it offered there or bid there?
35.48 bid, 35.85 offer. So looks to me like it's going to probably open under 36, but maybe that 35.31 low is a number to keep an eye on. It is bid up about 15 cents from that level.
35.10 was your low on April 17th, so we're only 20 cents away from there. Below that level, it's wide open to the 34.50 level. But here's one of those stocks getting pounded in the pre-market. You just want to be aware of where that pre-market low is when the stock's open, and may get a little bit of short covering here since this thing was over 39 bucks 5-6 trading sessions ago.
Yeah, and it's been on a tear here too. And always, when you have these stocks that have been moving up, this was a $34 stock at the beginning of April. When it quickly gives back these moves, anybody that was short the stock obviously looks to those levels to cover. If the pullback does continue, you got great support down there. I'm looking at a low at 34.60 or 35.10 back on the 17th. That's about 40 cents lower from where we are right now. Costco also reported earnings here. $1.04 versus a $1.03. Revenue a bit light, 23.55 billion versus 24.21 billion. Doesn't seem to matter. They're actually buying the stock here this morning. It's up 50 cents in the pre-market, 113.50.
Pre-market high for Costco here, 114.13. I know I spend a lot of money there, so maybe it was reflected in this quarter's activity. You did have three highs in the 114.65, the 114.72 level. Couldn't quite get there in the pre-market, so actually you had 3 out of 5 highs in that area. So someone's lurking around in that area. That's another $1.25 away, so keep an eye on that as a resistance level. Above that's the all-time high at 115.77. Coming back on the downside, major support here at the 112 level. Two lows at 111.85 and 112.25.
Warren Buffett getting interested in the utility sector here. Berkshire buying NVE, which is NV Energy, 23.75 in cash. That stock obviously just trading up to its cash buyout price. It's trading 23.70 right now. They don't put a lot of risk on a Warren Buffett acquisition because those almost always go through. But just interesting enough because the energy slash utility sector really hasn't been performing well here for the last 3 or 4 days. You can see going into this NVE was actually getting killed. So I wonder if this could help some of those stocks like AEP, American Electrical Power, which has obviously been weak here as well. Stocks like NEE, which is another one, Nextera Energy, it is trading up a bit in the pre-market. EXC, which is Exelon Corp. You wonder if a few of these stocks that kind of have been thrown, away here for the last 3 or 4 trading sessions could get a little bit of a lift because there's a merger in the sector.
Well, we always talk about people getting the memo, a couple days ahead of time.
It did this time.
Looks like, the reverse
Warren
memo
Buffett's
here.
tight-lipped.
Yeah, boy, this thing. Warren just have been buying oodles of this over the last couple days, and now you're getting the pop. I guess the only thing I would note to our traders and investors out there is you saw what happened in the food sector when Mr. Buffet got interested in acquiring stocks. So let's see if he has the same effect here in the utility sector.
Yeah, even Duke Energy I know is trading up a little bit. We are up 5 points on the S&P futures, so some of this is with fair value. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if this sector actually shows some strength after having 3 or 4 very weak days. EMC, big news out of EMC here, Joel, increasing their buyback by $5 billion, initiating a 10-cent quarterly dividend. That's all good news for EMC shareholders because EMC is trading up $1.30 right now at $24.93 on almost 500,000 shares worth of volume. So it's big volume too for EMC this morning.
Just trading at the high of the pre-market right here at $24.93. Did they say they were buying the stock right now? Were they?
It appears that way because the stock is flying here in the pre-market.
Yeah.
Look, it just keeps ticking up as it's going. $24.99, $25 just ticked.
Right. Well, look at that, Dennis. $24.99 was the high on March 20th. So let's keep an eye on that level. Above that, things are kind of wide open here between 25 and 25.50, but here's one of those scenarios where there's going to be some stock in the book here. This stock trades, 20 some million shares a day. So there are some latent orders here sitting on the book. I could see that scenario where it's trading at 25 in the pre-market. Boom, the designated market maker opens it right away at like 24.60 and then jams it right up to 25.
Sometimes you do
So
see that happen, yeah. As that liquidity that is on that New York book is not active until 9:30. So despite having liquidity on your ECNs here in the pre-market and on your other exchanges, New York liquidity, like Joel says, doesn't get activated until 9:30. And sometimes that DMM can open it up a little bit advantageous to him, and sometimes that gives their traders an opportunity to participate along with him. I,
one other strategy for this stock, if it does bust and open over 25 and makes a run up to some 25.20 or 25 and a quarter or something, and then it comes back down through that level, I don't know if I'd want to be an owner of the stock.
But remember, I'm going to keep saying it, we are in this momentum market, and I know these things can change here in a hurry, but for the last 6 months, we've been in a momentum market. You can just look easily at a stock like Tesla to know how much momentum this market can get. And when a stock starts going in one direction, sometimes it's very hard to buck the trend. I mean, that Tesla, we've talked about it, it's been an incredible 1 month for it, where the stock has basically doubled in price. So stocks can move in one direction for a long time when you're in a momentum market, and I always like to trade with the trade when you're in a momentum market as opposed to going against the trade.
Yeah, there was some news out on Tesla here. Jake, are you with us?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some comments coming out of Elon Musk this morning. He mentioned, all things D reported this. He mentioned that the Tesla's going to be having a low-cost version of their electric vehicle by 2017. Now, there's been a lot of speculation this is going to be between $30,000 and $40,000. That's gotten Tesla into the headlines. There's also news that the company is going to greatly extend its number of supercharger stations. Leading into by the end of June, and by the end of 2013, you'll be able to drive an electric vehicle, specifically a Tesla, from LA to New York City directly. So there'll be enough supercharger stations along the route to be able to make that a possibility. So it looks like that's getting some traders bullish this morning.
Yeah, it's trading up about $1 here right now. I will note yesterday we did kind of have a reversal day in Tesla where it was trading up. It opened high up at 113.55, ticked up to the high at 114.90, and then just hit the skids, actually trading all the way down to $99. So it did dip under 100 before getting a rally later in the day to close at 104.62. But that, key reversal day yesterday has me a bit nervous. If the stock goes into rally mode again, I would definitely keep an eye on yesterday's high at 114.90 as pretty major resistance.
You had to get those stops at 100, Dennis.
That's
Come
what they
on,
love to
right?
do.
Right?
Yeah, they love to take it
Yeah.
through those keyhole numbers just by a tick or two because they know some retail traders and other traders will place stop orders at those big hole numbers, even institutions sometimes, and they try to take it through those numbers, trigger and buy from those stops, and then take it the other way. So a lot of times when you see a big critical number, it'll tick through it by, on a $100 stock maybe by 30 or 40 cents, but even on like $20, $30 stocks by a dime or two, and then comes all the way back down through that level. So that's why sometimes, like Joel says, it's key when the stock does come back through the level. Also got Priceline in the news last night there, Joel. They are actually doing an offering, but the offering is to buy back stocks. So that's obviously good for shareholders. It's trading up right now about $6 at $799 after closing at $792.27.
Stock is going to have some resistance if it continues in the rally mode. 801.68 was yesterday's high. I believe we traded to that during the pre-market or after hours, traded up to 804. So a couple levels to keep an eye on here. And then the major resistance here, double top right at the $820 level. 819.99 was your low from Tuesday.
We do have jobless claims and GDP, but let's just first try to go to Alcoa quickly because Moody's cutting the rating of Alcoa. What can you say? Okay, so it's BA1, which is a junk rating for Alcoa. Stock is trading down about 12 cents or 1.5% here in the pre-market on that ratings cut. I know you love this Alcoa stock, Joel.
Yep, Alcoa can't wait to go out of business here.
Come on, you got to catch them a break. They've held up pretty well here lately.
840 was the low that you had on the 16th, but here, let's go to Jake on the GDP number.
Yeah, they should be coming out in a second. Just waiting for them to cross the wires. Come right at 8:30. Looks like they're slightly delayed.
Market is just bouncing around here. Just does it looks to be almost
Looks
a
like the
non-event.
second reading's coming in at up 2.4%. Economists were looking for up 2.5%. It's a slight miss there. Waiting on initial jobless claims here.
Market sold off a
Initial
couple bucks.
jobless claims came in at 354,000. The expected was 340,000. The prior was also 340,000. So that's what we're looking at for this morning.
Okay, pretty much a non-event here. Haven't been able to take out that high of 1654.75. So resistance standing for now up to 1657 and a quarter.
Moving on to just the analyst upgrades and downgrades because we got quite a few here today, and we got a big one from Jefferies. They are stepping out here and upgrading Facebook this morning after Facebook closed near its lows of the last 6 months, lows of the year basically, down at 23.32. The low was 23.26 yesterday. Jefferies stepping out here saying, buck that trend. It's been down too many days in a row, and we like it. It's cheaper, and it's up 76 cents on that upgrade this morning.
Following my rules of technical analysis here, trying to pick a bottom. This thing was down 9 out of 10 days. Pretty amazing. Now you're getting a pop here in the pre-market. The pop is taking you up over the $24 level, up to 24.20. So that's a resistance point. I just don't know if this is going to hold. You're filling the gap that you had from 2 days ago. If it continues in rally mode here, 24.54 was the high on Tuesday, but I think you still might get a chance to buy this thing cheaper back down to 23.26, unless Jeffries is that influential in this stock.
Well, it's got some shorts nervous for sure because you got a lot of people that are trading the momentum here, and the momentum's been down for Facebook. So I would imagine you have a few people caught short or short here from yesterday and from the couple days before. So if this thing pulls back down in the mid 23s, I gotta think those shorts will be scrambling for cover. So I do think there's support. I do think you've probably seen the short-term low here, which is an easy call. I mean, it's up 76 cents, but at 23.26. So I don't think it's going to quickly give it all back, and I wouldn't be surprised if eventually this does try to press up to that key $25 level that we had cited before. I don't think you'll see it today, but over the next day or two, I think bulls could have a couple day run in this one. Goldman Sachs upgrading, getting positive on the solar sector here, Joel. They're upgrading three of them. They're upgrading First Solar, they are upgrading SPWR, which is Sun Power, and they are also upgrading Wafer, MEMC Electronic Materials. All those stocks trading significantly higher on the Goldman, who is your most influential brokerage house upgrade.
Now,
Uh,
keep in mind with that group, you've also got Yingli Green Energy reported earnings this morning, beating on the top line and missing pretty heavily on the bottom line. So coming off of a pretty down day yesterday. I don't know how that's going to play into your analysis there, Joel, but just want to give you a heads up.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Someone's selling a little stock here at 55.65, 55.67. That's
First
in
Solar.
put a in First Solar there. FSLR putting a little cap on it, just for now in the pre-market. And then you look at the high of the move here, $59, right on the kisser. So a couple resistance points to keep an eye on in First Solar. Taking a look at SPWR. I believe that's a lower price. Not too low.
Been
Up
moving higher.
70. Yeah, that's moving up too. In the pre-market, has snuck over 2060 to 2065. Looking at the dailies here, really not much here in between 20 and 22.
And Wafer here is really getting a lift. WFR, it's trading up on 92,000 shares at $8.20, closed at 762. And this is a breakout for Wafer. It's one of them that is making a new high on the move. But all of these things have been on a tear, and now we're going to talk about the momentum again. They've had great momentum coming in. Goldman is obviously riding that momentum with these upgrades. And Wafer here, wow, I can't believe it's just blowing through the $8 level. And when we look at the chart, when you look at that one from 2011, you basically were straight down from 14 bucks over the course of a year and a half, and you had not a lot of trading between $10 and $8. So once this stock starts to really get rolling, not a lot of resistance areas to cite.
860 was the high back in July of 2011, but besides that, it's pretty open between 8 and 10 here. But here, once again, here's another pretty heavily traded issue. So there could be some orders there, off the open, just GTC orders that may cause it to open a little bit lower, but really not a lot of resistance in this thing. I wonder if Chanos is still short these things. I mean, I can't remember. I haven't looked at his filings, but he called these things on the way down. I don't remember him covering or going long, but I'm sure he did.
I know Icon had a great buy on that First Solar there. I remember when that was trading down there. Wasn't it First Solar that Icon got interested in?
What does an icon buy that
Yeah,
doesn't go up?
well,
I
he had the
mean,
Netflix. That was the real call, man. When he had that Netflix, that's gotta be this buy of the lifetime. That Netflix when that was back at $50, and he went long. And I don't know if he still got it or not, but wow, it's up at 215 now. It's just incredible. Let's just quickly talk about Apple here. The consolidation in Apple has been absolutely crazy here. For the last 7 trading sessions, we're basically trading between 440 and 445, or 440 and 450. We did tick up over 450 2 days ago. Couldn't sniff it yesterday. The high was 447.50. We are brushing up against yesterday's high here right now in the pre-market at 446.70.
Yeah, we've hit 448.01 here. Excuse me, been higher than that. 448.99 in the pre-market. This stock has been ripping my heart out the last couple days. I've been trying to play, some of the weekly calls and stuff, and it moves so fast. And you're sitting like on a huge profit, and then the spoos go down, and shakes me, climb to the top of the tree and shake me out. I come falling down to the ground here, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, this 440 level is holding up like a magnet here. I think I'm going to try and hold on to my position until we break below 440. Looking at the weeklies here, I mean, this thing is just winding up. It needs to clear that 450 level. On the retreats, I mean, you can just feel the company buying back the stock there when they pick a level, and just that major support of 440. I'm gonna try and hold out until we get a close under 440.
Google had a weak day again yesterday. Actually closed fairly weak too at 868, but it is up $5 here with the overall market. I don't know what to say on this Google chart. I mean, obviously we had the consolidation above 900. We broke through the 900. We tried to sniff back up a little bit, got as high as 892 2 days ago, and then just caved with the overall market yesterday and really didn't rally with the late day rally. So got me a little bit concerned on the Goog.
Just yesterday's low, 864.29. I mean, if you're trying to, play this on, for a short-term bounce here, I would not let it go below that level because there's clearly no support under that level until really getting under 860 here. You had a low just May 8th, not that long ago, at 852.91. I mean, what an incredible move here. Climbing from 761 to 920. I mean, could have a retracement back in that 840, 850 area and still be extremely bullish the stock.
Overall market thoughts here before we close the show. We're up 5 points here, down about $1 from when we reported those GDP numbers. Just consolidating though here. I'm looking still at that 1654 number, but what's your take here? This market's been a little bit choppy here the last 3 days. It's kind of hard to call.
Well, every time we sneak under 1640, the last couple trading sessions, got down there 3 out of the last 4 trading sessions, and we've come out really hard off that level. So I think you just have to, consider we're still in a major uptrend until we take out to 1632.75 level. Just kind of wallowing after, we made that high. So the midpoint is right around 1660. I think I'd like to see it clear that today, and I think we'll still be in the rally mode.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading session, and we will be back with you tomorrow.